Hello everyone, my name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Civilization. What this video is gonna be about, we're gonna talk about siege. How are siege actually be useful? Can siege be useful? Where do you use siege? Why do I keep training siege? Should I even unlock my tier 4 siege? This is a lot of questions that people are asking me. Many people are telling me that it's much better to just train tier 1 siege. Well, today we're gonna break it down, and today we're gonna talk just about siege and how you could actually make a very good use for your siege. I have talked about this in one of my live stream, but unfortunately I didn't want to do this video right now. It is a request, so here I am. Right, there is something very particularly, and unfortunately this can probably only work with Cleopatra. I mean, this is my advice. You need Cleopatra as a main commander for this particular tactic that I'm trying to tell you right now, and where you could actually make very useful your siege. You notice the fourth skill on Cleopatra. It says here, increase siege units attack and defense when gathering at resource points on the map. 50% and 50%. That is a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter if they are siege, and I know that siege they are being countered by any other unit. But with that large amount of bonus and with the talent that I'm going to show you, this is going to be a game changer for our siege. Now, why are siege actually bad, and why are people not actually using siege? Well, they have a very good reason why it is like that, and I advise it to be like that. So for example, if I go on my alliance, and I go on my alliance technology, I go on the war, you're noticing something, that as further as we went, we didn't research siege, and this is how it should actually look. If I go on my personal research and I go on the war once I get on the siege, what are you noticing? They are the least upgraded ones, and this is how it should actually be. The reason I'm saying that is because cavalry, infantry and archers, these are the three main units, whichever you're specialized in, that you should always focus your research in. It's same in alliance technology, it's same is in your personal technology. Siege always come last. Now I am 6 months into the game, some other people are like 5 months into the game, and we all know that this commander Cleopatra, we can obtain it from the strategic reserves event. Some of you can farm it very easy, and that's how I even got my sculptures. She also drops in the gold chest. She's not really that crazy or hard to upgrade. So as I mentioned, for this particular strategy that I'm gonna talk right now, you're gonna need her 4th skill. Then it depends on you if you can spare, or if you already maxed out your troops that you are focused on, or maybe your alliance, like my alliance right now. Our next research is going to be the siege. So if you want to make utility of your siege, you can, but with Cleopatra as a main commander. Now here is the following that could actually work. I'm just gonna pop the talents and I'm going to explain. It's going to require a specific talent build. Now if you're noticing, if you're following this path, if you go on expert design, increase attack, defense and health, that's gonna be 3 points. That's gonna be 6% attack, defense and health. That's a lot of bonus just from one talent, I mean from 3 talent points. Then what Cleopatra does, Cleopatra has a little bit of healing effect, but that's not the point. You have this one, counter attack, which increases the attack by 9%. So it doesn't matter if you have just siege troops, but when you have that large amount of siege troops, let's say 200,000 tier 4 siege, and when they're gonna get this large amount of boost, they can actually do something into the battle. Then you have this particular talent, which is said armored convoy, increase troops defense by up to 15% while gathering resources. Now we also know that Cleopatra main skill increase even more defense to your troops when she's going to use it. And then you have this particular skill, which says defensive formation. When the army led by this commander has been reduced to less than 15% strength, increase defense of siege units by up to 15%. So there is a lot of defense and a lot of bonuses to your siege that even if they get countered, I'm pretty confident they're gonna put up a fight. So I would like to call this build a cavalry trap. And I'm just gonna pop up the talent build that I just created, and there you go. I'm gonna take myself out a little bit so you can see. You're noticing that I've done it with colors, so this is very easy for you to understand. So on every color, when you manage to complete it, like you get to level 33 and you've done the green ones, you get very useful and very important talents for this particular build. Cleopatra, siege tanking while farming, trap for cavalry. This is the name of this build, and this is the way that you can actually make utility of your cavalry. Once you've done the red one, you can see that you have a lot of skill damage reduction. You're gonna have rage recovery, quite a lot of rage recovery, rage regeneration, and I've done with the blue ones. Once you get to the blue ones, I specifically mentioned that that is the first one on the top that you should complete first. Then you get march speed, then you get more skill damage reduction. If you ever get your Cleopatra to level 55, which with that is going to be like 6-star Cleopatra, this is the first one for march reduction, just in case you're actually thinking of leaving that farming point and trying to change them down. Now it's very important that she's gonna be the main commander for this particular build, and you will also going to have a second in command. This will make a huge importance. So I'm just gonna put myself back in. Let me get back into the game. The reason why I'm saying that is gonna make a really huge importance is who you're going to put a second in command. So you have a couple of options. For example, Ark of Osiris. Is this wrong for Ark of Osiris, do you think? I don't. Imagine for Ark of Osiris if you put a second in command Gaius Marius. Now how much mobility will your siege are going to get? Siege units march speed up bonus 15%. 15%. Now if you go to the talents, you have hasty departure and you have modified axle. So how much march speed are your siege going to get? That's going to be pretty insane, isn't it? So you could use Cleopatra for your Ark of Osiris with Gaius Marius. What does Gaius Marius do? March speed reduction 30%. There's nothing bad in that. If you want to chase down the people that are actually trying to pin you down, when you can actually knock them down, you can go back on them and you can do a little bit more damage while you still have the march speed reduction. So there you go. You can use in Ark of Osiris, you can use your Cleopatra and Gaius Marius. So you can make a utility for your Cleopatra. In war, how could you use Cleopatra in war with just siege, with just this particular build? You set up a trap. There's resource mines all over. There's all over the map. Where you go on the map, wherever there's gonna be war, there's gonna be resource mines. Do you think every single one is gonna scout a resource mine before they attack it? So you can just basically send your Cleopatra with another commander. Let's say someone that you can spare. Maybe you cannot spare Julius Caesar because, you know, he's Julius Caesar. He's very useful. Maybe you can spare Frederick. You have a very good upgraded Frederick or a very good upgraded Hannibal Barca to put a second in command to your Cleopatra, and you're just gonna set up a trap. People are just gonna attack it, and if you have time to either counterattack or you just make use of your TFO siege during the war, Ark of Osiris, or when farming. If you have problems in your kingdom with this particular farming and you have a Cleopatra with 1st and 4th skill maxed out, because these two are required, 1st and 4th, they are required for this particular build. If you have this one maxed out, then you can just set the trap for the cavalry on the resource mine. Do you think someone is gonna scout a resource mine before they attack it? People used to, but I'm not sure if maybe 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 50 they actually do that. So that's very, very rare when someone is actually going to scout your resource mine and he's gonna notice you have Cleopatra and some other crazy mofo legendary with her. So I was mentioning you can put Frederick. If you have a highly upgraded YSG for purpose of nuking, you can put him as well. Boudica. Joan of Arc, not so much because Joan of Arc main skill, it doesn't actually boost siege, so there's pretty limited of what Joan of Arc can bring into the battle. But you can definitely put Scipio if you want. You can definitely put Boudica. You can definitely put a Minamoto if you want. That's gonna be a crazy ass amount of nuking Minamoto will do. Charles Martel. You can also put a Charles Martel. If you want, you can even put a Richard. So you can make a really good, useful and utility for your siege. But as I mentioned, it's very highly recommended while gathering resources, not trying to do this on open field. So this is why this is a very delicate subject, and I want you to treat it very delicate. Because you have to make use of the 4th skill from your Cleopatra. That is very, very important to get all these kind of bonuses. Now you saw the talent path. You saw the combinations. As I mentioned, Julius Caesar can also be a good pair for this. Right. Before I go any further, I didn't want to do this at the beginning because probably most of you people know about it. But it's also important that you might want to know a couple of things of legendaries, about legendaries. First is their skills. It is very recommended that you try to keep any legendary, works with epic as well, at 1 star, so you can max out the first skill. That is the cheapest skill that you can upgrade on any commander. So keeping them at 1 star, you see I haven't done that, so you can learn from my mistakes. I was focused too much on gathering, and I wanted the gathering so much, so I skipped it. So keeping her on 1 star, maxed out her first skill, and then if you want to try for this particular build that I'm talking about, you're gonna unlock her 4th skill, and then you pray that you get as many points as possible in this one, on the 4th skill. To max out the 2nd skill of a legendary commander, it costs to 140. So that's how expensive it is. So if you want to keep her at, let's say, 2 star to max out her 2nd skill, that's 140 per total. Per total is 690 legendary sculpture, 690. So that's why first skill it's only 50, so it's very important to max out the first skill. In terms of stars, if you plan to invest in Cleopatra, you must be really prepared. From 4 to 5 stars is pretty accessible, is around 150 of the regular stars. From 5 to 6 is about 450. So that brings you in total of roughly 700 stars to max out all the stars of a legendary commander. She is not a priority. I consider her as a gathering. But I had this idea for a very long time. I talked about it during the live stream and people keep asking me and send me picture with maxed out skill Cleopatra. Can you believe that? So I had to do something about it, so I decided that it might be the time to do the video. So it's gonna be out there if people want to make utility of their Cleopatra. Your main priority should be infantry, cavalry, or archers. Try to build those type of legendary commanders. She is a side project. She is something extra if you have extra resources, or if you ever manage to max out her skill to the strategic reserves event. And this is how you can make use, like I was mentioning in the beginning of the video, how you can make use of your siege. Because if I check my troops, and that's not counting the dead ones, you can see that I have 256,000 siege. Now even if I use an army enhancement, I still have a lot of siege I can use in either Ark of Osiris or on a battle. Why not on a battle? Why not build a trap on a battle for those cavalry who just want to come, dish out some damage and run away? So when my Cleopatra is gonna be ready, I have the siege ready so I can make more utility for her. I hope you guys find this video helpful, and I'm just gonna bring for the last, I'm just gonna bring the talents real quick, take myself out so you guys can see it even better. This is your boy Legend Ronnie signing out. Until next time, guys. Peace out, yo, and take care.